What's going on, homies? My name is John Solo, and today, for the first time in way too long, we're talking about a Pixar theory. That is right, you heard me right, a Pixar theory, specifically a theory about Toy Story 2, which just so happens to be my favorite installment in the Toy Story trilogy / soon-to-be saga. What makes me even more excited than that, though, is that this theory revolves around my favorite character from Toy Story 2, Wheezy, the little penguin that Woody finds abandoned on the top shelf. You may be thinking to yourself, John, why is Wheezy your favorite character? He's hardly even necessary for the plot, and he's pretty much just a glorified dog toy. And you may be right in thinking that, but according to this theory, he's a lot more vital to the story than anyone previously thought. In fact, he may be the entire reason that we even have a Toy Story 2 in the first place. Okay, so to understand this theory, I'm first going to have to remind you of a few small but key details, starting with when Toy Story 2 takes place. According to the Pixar theory, which is not an official source, but I think most of us can agree is a reliable one, the first Toy Story takes place in 1997, while Toy Story 2 takes place in either the summer of 1998 or of 1999. For this theory, we're going to assume that it's in 1998 because, as some of you may remember, Molly was just learning how to walk in Toy Story 2. I mention this because she was 1 year old in Toy Story 1, so her learning how to walk in 1998 around the age of 2 years old makes perfect sense. Any later than that would mean she was pretty delayed. Also, the opening of Toy Story 3 shows two clips back to back of her second birthday party, and then the height of Jessie and Bullseye, the toys Andy gets at the end of this movie, being measured, so we can assume these two occasions take place around the same time. The reason the timing is so important is because Wheezy wasn't around at all during the events of Toy Story 1. If he was, then we would have seen him during the birthday scene, or packed in with the rest of the toys in the moving scenes, or at the end of the film during the Christmas scene, but obviously we didn't. Therefore, we can assume that Andy got Wheezy sometime after Christmas during the 6 to 8 months between the two movies, or got him for Christmas and just opened his present after the credits rolled. And since after rediscovering Wheezy, Woody said that he thought Mrs. Davis took him to get his squeaker fixed months ago, that must mean that Wheezy only got played with for about 3 to 6 months before being placed on the shelf. I would also say that it's safe to assume that he was one of Andy's favorite toys during the time that he was played with, because according to Woody, Andy was so upset when his squeaker broke.
What are you doing up here? I thought Mom took you to get your squeaker fixed months ago. Andy was so upset.
This statement may not mean much on its own, but you can actually see in the home videos after Wheezy is fixed again, he's present in just about every recording front and center. So it's pretty apparent Andy really liked the little squeaky penguin. So what's all this got to do with the theory? Well, toys can be jealous. We know this because it's a main plot point in the first Toy Story. How do you think Wheezy would feel after living the dream, being played with day after day by Andy, being forced to live on the top shelf alone and look on as all of the other toys got the attention that he used to get? Jealous, right? And maybe even a little depressed? His comments about prolonging the inevitable are pretty dark and resemble the words of someone with depression.
What's the point in prolonging the inevitable? We're all just one stitch away from here to there.
And then there's the yard sale.
Yard sale! Guys, wake up! There's a yard sale outside! Yard sale?
This is where the theory really takes off. Rewatching the scene with an eye on Wheezy is actually pretty interesting because he doesn't seem to even care whether he gets sold or not. Combine this with the dark comments that he just made and the fact that he doesn't even try to hide when Andy's mom comes into Andy's room looking for toys to sell. It's actually Woody who shoves Wheezy in between the books, and it's pretty evident that he truly doesn't care about what happens to himself, but he might actually have a plan in the works. Think about this. All of Andy's toys, Wheezy included, know about Woody's heroic nature. Wheezy probably knew that if he or any other toy got brought down to the yard sale, Woody would come down to try to save him and possibly get himself sold instead. It's definitely not a perfect plan, I'll give you that, but even if the entire thing falls through, the worst case scenario isn't that bad for Wheezy. He may get sold himself, but why would he even care? He just spent the last 2 months in what may as well have been solitary confinement. Why would he be afraid of being sold to another child that's actually going to give him love and attention? He probably wouldn't. One last bit of evidence that I've never actually noticed when watching Toy Story 2 is that Wheezy literally does nothing to aid in his own rescue, as in, he doesn't even move. Woody throws Wheezy out of the box and he just lets himself fall and bounce mouse around, doesn't even try to get up. Woody picks him up and shoves him in Buster's collar, and instead of sticking out his little arms to catch himself from slipping out, he just lets himself slip and puts the responsibility on Woody. This all results in Wheezy getting rescued, Woody getting stolen, and there being a little less competition for Andy's attention when he gets back from camp. Now I know what you're all thinking. There is no way that Wheezy would do this. He's just a weak, sweet, chubby penguin who wants to be loved again. I thought the same thing myself. But you've also got to remember that Wheezy only spent like 3 to 6 months actually being played with by Andy. This could result in him feeling less connected to the other toys because he didn't spend as much time around them, and even more jealous of them because his lifespan, so to speak, was so short. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and being completely isolated for months on end could have driven Wheezy into a messed up mental state. This could be why at the end of the movie, when his squeaker has been fixed, his playing potential has been restored, and he has worked his way back into the community, he's genuinely happy to see that Woody has made it back home safe and sound. So now I want to know what you guys think. Do you believe this theory? Do you not believe it? Do you at least enjoy the idea of it? Remember to click that like button if you enjoyed this video and leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Also remember to share this video with anyone you know who may enjoy it, and subscribe for weekly Pixar content. Before you go, I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. I really can't express my appreciation enough. Hopefully I'll be seeing you soon, and don't forget, John shot first.